We are joined now by Heidi Prisbilla, senior political correspondent for USA Today. It was supposed to be Hillary Clinton's coronation on the Democratic side. It's turning into a bit more of a horse race, isn't it, Heidi?
Ironic, given where the narrative started in this, for sure, and given that it looks like Donald Trump is now going to easily march to his nomination. However, I would call this a two-front war, but I don't think it's equal in terms of the firepower, John. I think Bernie Sanders is more like the dead guy that you left on the battlefield who keeps jolting back to life, and you're not in a full-on war with him, but you can't keep your eye off of him. Bernie Sanders, whether he acknowledges it publicly or not, does not have a path to the nomination, even if you got to look at the numbers, even if he swayed all of those superdelegates to come over in the states that he won, he's still not going to win given the numbers that she hasn't pledged, given the superdelegate numbers that she has. So what does he want? He wants to push her in terms of the party platform. And the number one reason why she can't take her eye off him is because of that and because of his people and the people that he brings along. That's
the point I was going to make. He's got an awful lot of supporters, especially young people. And if they decide to sit this one out, Hillary Clinton and the Democrats could be in real trouble.
And that's the big question, John, is can she give him what he wants at the convention? Can she satisfy him? Because there's a lot of things that he wants that are she's going to feel are being pushing her too far. For example, like on a carbon tax, making that really firm commitment to a $15 an hour minimum wage, which in her heart of hearts she feels might actually risk, losing jobs. The one thing that I would point you to, watch this space, is I really think that she may cut a deal with him on superdelegates, on the role of superdelegates, because I talked to Clinton officials who feel like this narrative is actually hurting her now. It's masking the fact that she has consistently kept a lead in terms of pledged delegates and the popular vote. So there may be some kind of a deal to be struck there, but that's going to be hard for her because she's got to work that out with him. If he's not satisfied, then she can kiss goodbye his very vociferous support in between the convention and the election, which, yes, she will need.
And how things have changed since Tuesday and Indiana. I mean, the Republicans were supposedly headed for this, this iceberg in Cleveland that was going to sink the party. There was going to be an open convention and all this battling. Now it looks like Donald Trump is going to sail to the nomination, and the Democrats are the ones who may have the more interesting convention battle ahead.
Right, and that's going to be why Bernie Sanders continues to fight tooth and nail to the very end, because if you want to get into tactics and semantics, the number of delegates that he can bring to the table, even if he knows it's a losing battle in terms of the nomination, but the number of delegates that he has will probably determine the number of voices that he has on that platform committee, so he can use that to force his issues. But again, the question is what she can agree to and not feel that she's been pushed too far to the left to then immediately commence that general election battle with Donald Trump, because he's going to spend the time from now until then making himself more appealing to a general election audience and making those calculations, whereas she's going to feel a little bit more boxed in that regards.
And let's talk about the email effect on all of this. We reported in the first hour of Happening Now today, Hillary Clinton's email scandal is bubbling up once again. This hacker who is in prison right now tells Fox News that he breached her private server pretty easily, he says, could have compromised national security. Now, he has offered up no evidence to back up his claim, but it doesn't help the narrative, of her saying, oh, I didn't put anything important on my email.
That's exactly right. Like you said, no evidence yet until he provides some kind of forensic evidence to back that up, which he's done in previous cases, because this is a high-profile hacker who has hacked into other accounts and has provided evidence of that. But until he provides that, what it does, however, is damage on the political front, just in terms of keeping the issue before the public. Because, John, I firmly believe that this is going to become where the game goes from here on out. about whether or not this leads to charges. Donald Trump is going to use it to feed into his narrative about Hillary Clinton and her judgment. He can't really go after her on the experience and her resume, but he can go after her on the judgment argument, so he'll very much use that to his advantage. And then you have the timing of the FBI investigation, which is going to be wrapping up, so that will coincide as well with the general election.
FBI still underway. Heidi Prisbilla, the senior correspondent, political correspondent at USA Today. Heidi, thank you.
Thank you.